Welcome back, everyone. It's Rich here, and I am on the floor with Stan Sifka. We got a lot to talk about. StarLadder just wrapped up his matchup, and you brought up a pretty interesting fact. He started off the tournament in not the best situation and managed to bounce back, and now he's going to the grand finals. What exactly is that experience like as a player?
Well, it's not that often. Like, very often it happens to have just bad lineup and you just go destroyed and go out. But he managed to have amazing comeback. Now he's in grand finals and he has very good decks against all the players. So he's pretty big favorite to take home the title. So yeah.
Yeah, of course he won't be playing for a little bit longer. There are a few series, and we'll actually determine who's going to be in that matchup with him. So the next series, as you can see up on this board, it's going to be Neirea versus RDU. And before the camera actually jumped on us, you brought up a pretty interesting fact. These guys have some pretty big things in store even after this tournament.
Yeah, both of them are really on fire with Angura. They both made it to Shanghai to HCT finals. And the interesting fact is that Neirea brought control lineup in the prelims, or however you call it, and Radu brought full Smork, while here Neirea still has control lineup, and Radu switched to controls as well. So it's going to be a pretty interesting series. I think Neirea should be slight favorite because his lineup is probably a little bit favored against Radu, and I also believe he's a little bit more experienced with these 5-hour matches. Or
yeah. I definitely think that that is probably true, but I have a big question for you. What's actually next in store for you? What's the next tournament you're going to be playing at?
The next weekend, there's a DreamHack in Sweden, so it's pretty awesome tournament. So that's gonna be next up for many pro players, and it's gonna be worth to watch, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, I saw you preparing over there. I'm excited to see what you actually do bring. Best of luck in that tournament. But now we are going to continue figuring out who is going to be in the grand final with this matchup between Neirea and RDU. I'm gonna throw it on over to the casters.
Oh, the camera is actually going to us. And here we go.
There we go.
So we're going to be casting again RDU, this time against Neirea from Team Liquid, sorry, and against G2.
Yeah, it's a great. It's actually really funny that they are now facing each other, both making it already in the HCT, both making it to Shanghai, and both were in the same group, made it out, but didn't face each other. They haven't faced each other yet.
Yep.
In the group, RDU was really happy that he could dodge Neirea in the group, but now he has to take it over. And as we already saw on the prediction board, some people leaning a little bit more to Neirea's lineup for was here a little bit more favorite.
That's true. When we have talked with RDU before, in his group stage actually, he knew that he's favored against Snowkiss, but he was against both Neirea and Oliver. He was actually not that favored. Actually got complete opposite. His lineup was detrimental to the lineups of his opponent. So it wasn't really looking great for him. It didn't change. We have still the same lineups. So RDU is not looking really great in the beginning of the match. But we have seen players here in this tournament just turn the game around, and even while being unfavored, still winning the match.
Yeah, and it is going to be really close because a lot of decks are just super similar. Both are playing the more aggressive Shaman. So yeah, they are not covering the warrior that well themselves. Both are playing Taunt Warrior. It has been a big struggle for RDU, has been a big struggle also for Neirea, the Taunt Warrior in general. And it doesn't, they are not hardly countering it themselves. So they both have a little bit more freedom in their lineup. Two strong decks for both of them are the Quest Rogue and the Jade Druid. You have been seeing it here just so much. Not going well for Neirea last time, going 0-3 first down with the Jade Druid. But it should still be a really strong deck for the lineup in general.
So you actually mentioned the rogues, right? For RDU, it's actually the Miracle Rogue that's getting banned a lot of time. I think he was actually playable once, if I'm not mistaken. And that was the game against Snowkiss, when he actually made a slight mistake that did cost him the life. And he said to us after the game, like, yeah, I didn't feel comfortable with playing Rogue, and this is something like a surprise for him, because he is actually, an exceptional Rogue player in general. So let's see what's going to happen here. This time, he will be actually able to play the Rogue. His Mage is banned, while Neirea's Rogue is banned.
The Mage being banned, I think a little bit surprised for RDU and didn't expect it. He was definitely planning on banning the Rogue, but here you see, Neirea has been doing this more and more, leaving the Rogues open because of his Freeze Mage. He's kind of feeling alright, and I think a Miracle Rogue might benefit Neirea a little bit more before his Jade Druid, but is way better against Miracle Rogue than Quest Druid. Kind of the same for his more aggressive Shaman that can still do a great job against the Rogue with cards like Bloodlust in deck.
Definitely. Well, I'm just excited we get to see a Rogue.
Yeah, it's great. I mean, we're all right that that some of these a little bit also more proactive combo
Yes,
decks can
exactly.
be around. Have been seeing a lot around, but yeah.
Guys, we are here. This is gonna be the fourth match.
The fourth match of
We
the
still
day.
have a fifth and a sixth match today, and that means that the final will be taking part around 2 a.m.
We'll see, we'll see. We still have great casting then ahead too. Even
Yeah.
casting already long. It's always great to cast great games.
10-1. Game 1. Warrior versus Mage. And that means RDU will need to take a hard decision. He's actually on the play to keep or not to keep the quest.
Yeah, and I think Quest is definitely like Neirea is playing a freeze match. So it's a freeze match, it's not the quest, and you actually see RDU mulliganing away the quest. Definitely going then already for the game plan where he tries to out-armor. We have seen a lot of warriors trying to burn mages down because of the mages being really greedy here. But Neirea is the one with bring the freeze match, and I think a strong read from RDU knowing quest is not the way to go. I need to armor as strong as I can.
Yeah, so even if he finishes up the quest, he still can't play the weapon. The only problem with mulliganing the quest away is the fear of having it in the last like 7 cards. That's the problem, because you might not have enough of minions in the deck left to actually finish it up. So you need to be very aware of how many taunt minions did you play already, because at some point you might just need the hero power.
Normally in this matchup, the warrior can really out-armor the mage. It's really the way to go for the warrior to out-armor the deck that especially Neirea is running, the freeze mage. And
Because he doesn't have Antonidas, right?
No, it's just a really like more standard-based, more defensive, playing also Ice Barrier, playing just a lot of draw. And for RDU, he's playing double Armor Smiths, he's playing double Ellie Armor Smith too. So a lot of ways for him to also gain armor besides just the standard armor up from the warrior already.
Yep. Good pickup for Neirea to just play the Doomsayer on 10-3, which is an awkward thing to do RDU to deal with, because he can't really get the card draw that he was counting on from the Acolyte of Pain unless he sacrifices a Whirlwind. So how important is that Whirlwind in this matchup? And the answer is not really that important, but at the same time you kind of need an answer to smaller minions like Arcanologists, right?
Well, even mulligan the quest away, getting it back anyway, so well, if we have the mana for it, let's play it. But going back to Neirea's deck list little, so where it is not running cards like Firelands Portal, there's less, but it is running an Antonidas, so there is room for Neirea to go with Antonidas, with a glyph, with a coin. Might be a little hesitating on the coin for that, because every burn is going to be important for Neirea. Even...
Okay. Well, that means that the quest is actually important at some point of the game.
Yeah. Well, it's going to be difficult for RDU because he needs to pick up a little bit more tools to do something more in the early game. It would be nice to have an Ellie Armor Smith going on.
Currently, it's not looking terrible. You have seen one Doomsayer going off, so that Acolyte of Pain, the second one, most likely will at least net him a 1 card. Of course, ideally, he would look for 2 or more, but it's pretty hard to do when your opponent's playing a mage with so many new cards that actually give him free damage, right? The Valet is one of the most important new additions to mages all over the place, right? Every mage plays Secret. Medivh's Valet gives you such a huge upside in the synergy, because it's, first of all, it's a 2-mana 2/3 minion, so it passes the test for the vanilla stats, right? And the upside of it having an additional, well, kinda frostboltish effect just when it comes to the damage is crucial.
Yeah, and for RDU, he is just, I still think he wants to try to follow the plan of just going for the armor every turn, because if we are looking at Neirea's deck, where he's running a Pyroblast, double Fireball, double Frostbolt, double Velvet, you see that some tools like the Velvet already get played, and yes, there is Alexstrasza, and he can deal a lot of damage that way. I think I'm really scared for RDU is also the Glyph in that way, from is he able to pick up additional damage, Neirea?
And with Antonidas coming into the hand, a single pickup of a Glyph will actually be incredible, because then he can go for Antonidas, coin, Glyph, maybe take another spell for 0 mana, and get 3 fireballs generated, which also requires attention, like immediate attention from RDU. So if he doesn't have a removal spell and that Antonidas sticks, that's almost GG.
Yeah, Antonidas, it's mainly the inclusion in Freeze Mage. Still, like Emperor has been rotating out, but still with the new inclusion of Glyph, you can make really you can just Glyph for an 2 mana card, and you get already 2 fireballs of it back. So it can be a really strong, especially in matchups like this, where that 1-2 additional fireballs can really make the difference.
You had been speaking about talking about that Ali Smith, and it came to the play finally.
The strong thing about Ali Smith is that it might just also take the fireball. Besides, it's already scary that it generates armor. It's just a really likely fireball target. Neirea, the Freeze Mage, it's not running a meteor, it's not running a polymorph, so by just playing this minion, having for Neirea, it's just really scary, the armor, and I think you just have to respect it a little bit and probably fireball.
The question is, does he follow it up with a ping, or does he follow up with the Acolyte of Pain attack? Because the Acolyte of Pain attack will give RDU 2 armor, but at the same time gives you a card advantage immediately this turn. 3, 6, 7, 8 cards in hand, with also Arcane Intellect and Acolyte of Pain already the second copy of it in the hand. So I don't feel like you need that card draw immediately.
I really don't want to give any additional armor as Neirea here. Like and also that 1 damage, it just ships an armor away, so it's a damage that really matters. Can even consider Telnos Fireball, can consider Fireball Ping, but I don't think you have enough draw in this hand. There is a lot of draw. I don't think I want to give the armor.
Alright, here we go. There's the ping with the Fireball.
1 armor getting shipped away. Every armor that you are able to ship away with a minion, you don't have to play a burn spell for.
True, but it's looking this is looking so good for RDU. If he is able to set up a turn when he can play double Armor Smiths, Dirty Rat into like a Whirlwind Ghoul, and then execute for that, you know, crucial minion from the Dirty Rat, that would be so much armor generation.
RDU needs to follow that plan. Like, he's definitely gonna need a lot of armor to handle once the Antonidas is also coming out, and yeah, double Armor Smith. It's a great way. Sometimes it's a little hard to get a lot of value from, because you're not trading as much, but in general with the cards like Wind and with the Ghoul, it can go really fast, and he needs a lot from it.
All right, well,
for now.
Turn 8 seems like just a Curator draw.
Yeah, Curator seems totally alright here.
What are the other options? Like, you know that you will get the Direhorned Hatchling out of the Curator, and I think the second Primordial Drake. I'm actually not sure if RDU runs 2.
Yeah. So I think it's for a really clear Curator. Maybe think of playing more on curve here, but I definitely think you also just want to get the 2 cards out now in the deck, improving the odds of drawing and maybe execute that he might need.
Execute the Ghoul.
Apollo might attacking here, just to see what you're drawing from it. Okay, that can also be helpful for Antonidas.
A lot of burn is getting piled on in Neirea's hand, but I feel like he needs to go for that Glyph as soon as possible. Because now, when he gets those Frost Bolts in hand, Fireball, those are kind of clogging his hand.
Yeah, he can just maybe like burn it in the face. I want to see it in the face here. I don't want to trade in any possible minion. It's just a 4 attack. You have Blizzard. He hasn't drawn all his freezes yet, but he's able to freeze the board when it really matters in the next turns too. It is a really powerful card, Dirty Red against Freeze Mage, where it struggles against Medivh Mage. Here it really shines. But
whoops.
Not so grateful there.
Yeah. It's key for Neirea to actually keep those small value minions. Oh my god,
there we
it pulls
go.
the Antonidas. That is just incredible. And wait, there's no way of killing it.
It's
Draw has to happen.
It is actually nothing morbid. Like, it's a great play into Alex, but it's so punished. Just this Antonidas. There's no execute in hand for RDU. There is not even a Fishes in the hand. Fishes got also cleared. I mean, I can see it doing at turn 8 before you Alex, but Neirea will coin out Alex maybe even.
Yeah, he needs to go for the brawl, and if that Antonidas lives, that will be a horrible outcome. And I think it actually happened.
No, I don't. I haven't.
Look at Neirea's face.
Nice.
Now it's still resolving. Still resolving. The Antonidas is.
Oh.
Oh my god, it was so
At the end,
close.
it goes out.
Woo! That was super
Well, that
close.
was a really ballsy move. I can see it being super important to do it turn 8 because you also can get the Alexstrasza out. Maybe what RDU was looking for too. But now, oh, the Antonidas. Game is still not over though for Neirea. Like Neirea still has a great opportunity to just generate as much of card draw going into the next turns and just trying to find the Alex because this one damage matters that you deal the armor array, but he needs to wait for Alex. He cannot just fireball face here.
Yeah.
Then the burn is just not gonna be good enough.
When he did lose at Antonidas for like no reason at all, you can't really lose any more burn. I agree about that. Alright, well.
Having a little bit card issue here with how much cards in hand and actually going for a little burn plan here, so I'm not really committing too much, but with the Frostbolt, little scared it's not gonna do much with Neirea knows there is probably a Drake, but needs to play a card to not overdraw. Could consider the coin there. I wonder what the coin value really all is about now.
Now without the Antonidas.
Without the Antonidas, I would have loved to see the coin there over the Frostbolt.
Alright. RDU goes to 25 HP. Alexstrasza is being drawn, and that means that Neirea can actually think about Alexstrasza right now, and he goes for it.
Yeah, you do it whenever you can. I think it might... I still would really love to see last turn where the coin being used. Like that Frostbolt can really make the difference of having enough burn or not having enough burn. And RDU definitely looking maybe for an execute, but also wanting to now fastly generate the armor as soon as he can.
Now RDU has to fall back on his plan B, which is the Armor Smith Whirlwind combo.
Yeah, and it's a great combo.
But he lacks the second activation. So a ghoul will be ideal. Can think about trading with the promoted rank into the Valet first, after you of course play double Armor Smiths to get additional 2 armor, and then you generate 6. It's still not that much when you think about it.
It's that's the thing. Like people are used to insane Armor Smith turns where you could combine it with more Despite or more like trading minions that old mid-range warriors were playing. But in the Taunt Warrior, it's kind of a minion that you want to have on board, and it defends your taunts on trading on the board, where it generates armor that way. Now, it does a little, and it definitely is helping that you can combine the Armor Smiths together.
Okay, additional taunt minion as well. When you think about it, this gives you basically hero power, the same value out of that Direhawk hatchling, but you develop a free 5 minion on board.
Yeah, and also the thing is, Neirea has to kind of flame strike this board, but playing flame strike also generates a lot of armor in a way for RDU, so he's not too sad about seeing that. Only strong failure is here saving the coin, actually paying off a lot for Neirea.
The coin was worth 8 points of damage, actually. Incredible that if Neirea planned this somehow like in his head, like you can't really predict this exact scenario, but if he was like, yeah, I need to keep that coin to just get that one pink, crucial pink somewhere during the game, that was really amazing.
Yeah, RDU's really lacking that execute. He went also a little bit aggressive with the reds earlier, hoping to get the Alexstrasza out, but got covered really well at that point by the taunts.
Still no execute.
Has to slam here.
Slam if he gets executed, that's beautiful. If not, then he needs to follow it up with the promoted drag just to have a taunt. Or maybe other taunt that he will get to draw. Sleep with the fishes, not enough damage. He can go for the promoted drag and well, if the Alexstrasza still lives for next turn, then he will use Sleep with the Fishes.
Good thing about Primal Drake is it will always take 8 damage here. Maybe from the Alexstrasza, otherwise from a Fireball combined with another damage card. But yeah, normally this if the Mage is able to to deal damage with the minions against a taunt warrior that runs quite a lot of health with taunts. It's not the game plan the warrior would like to go for.
Well, one thing has to be said. If that Antonidas would have been still in the hand, that would have been GG already.
Yeah, Dirty Red definitely doing his job there. Even RDU had to brawl his own board away.
So this is an awful glitch.
Yeah, like there were so many good things for Neirea here. He called pick up removals that were great for the taunt. He called pick up additional damage, what could have been great.
Yeah. Spellbender seems like the best choice because it plays around the execute that might finally happen at some point. Doesn't play around sleep with the fishes though. Oh.
Okay, so yeah, Primordial Drake doing the job there. Still getting the last Ice Berry out for Neirea, so not drawing the Ice Berry anymore.
18 life. And that archaeologist actually is important.
Yeah, but really painful for Neirea. And removal would mean 8 damage.
Yes.
And burst damage or just a burn cut was also fine. Now he just missed that opportunity.
Even Shatter would have been amazing. He already had a Frost Nova in his hand. So Frost Nova, Shatter, 8 to the face.
Yeah. So, and if that 8 could connect, Neirea was in a great spot. Now not getting that, gets a little tough here for Neirea now to find all the damage he needs.
And this is such a funny situation. RDU could have just go for the weapon, but then that nullifies any life gain in the future turns.
He is never going for the weapon here.
There's the second glyph. This might be so important.
Yeah.
Second Pyroblast. That's something that he needs, actually, right?
I think Neirea is gonna pick the spell that has the most damage on the card. Like it's what matters now. He's looking for Violence Portals can be great too, but just the Moss burn you can pick up from this glyph is gonna be really, really important.
Violence Portal can actually be more damage than Pyroblast.
Oh.
There's the Shadow, 1 turn too late.
Such a low roll.
Yeah, it's not looking great.
I guess Blizzard is alright with ping because every damage matters.
Yeah. Spellbender just to remove any option of executing the Arcanologist, I guess.
I mean, if an execute stops 2 damage, it's gonna go down to like really at the end of the deck for Neirea, and that's also what RDU is realizing. Every damage that he can stop, he will try to stop.
Yep. There's a taunt minion, that's what he needed. Just to stop that Arcanologist from attacking. But that means that Neirea will be able to use the Shatter the taunt, and get additional damage. Wait, does he have actually enough even with that? The last card, what is it? He used 2 Frostbolts, he used 2 Fireballs, right?
Getting really tough here for Neirea. The Arcanal. Really the hope here to ship in all the damage he can.
6 already dealt.
Yeah.
Minimizing the hero power from RDU.
That's a taunt. And looking for an Oily Aura. Gets it. Okay. That's really important. That's really, really important.
It's one of those creatures that require just removal, and the Frost Nova is not enough.
No.
Seems that Neirea is losing game 1. Took a while, but RDU, the play of the match is the Dirty Red.
Yeah, but it also says RDU had he saw what he had to do. Like he had to go for Milligan away the quest, gets it anyway in an early turn, but made already there the decision to go for the armor plan. And you see what people are not doing against the Medivh Mage here, they are definitely doing it here against the Mage from Neirea.
Yep, correct. I mean, we are watching really high-level players, so they exactly know what to do in their matches. It's so cool actually to see games where players know their opponent's deck list, because the games are so unique. They are way different than something that you see on ladder. They are way different when you watch Swiss tournaments, because the players are not playing with full information, and that means that they are less prone to making mistakes. So you can see different game styles, you can see different play styles as well, because players can have different opinion about a particular matchup. We have seen that with PF. PF using Tarims to a different measure than what you usually would see. Didn't pay out in the end, but still he was following up a different playstyle that he chose.
There is really a lot of strategy behind, and also I think Neirea chose here like the right strategy, just drawing as fast as they can. It all came down to like 6 damage, and if he would have like a glyph with a removal or a glyph with a fireball, it was just his game. So it was at the end really, really close.
And now, Shaman versus Shaman.
Yeah, and both are playing the Evolved Shaman with the double gangster inclusion, with the Jade package, and also with a lot of totems in early game. So going for the aggressive plays is pretty important in this matchup, I would say, in the mirror match.
I agree. Especially with cards like Firefly, when you can stick it to the board on turn 1, and you can get the advantage of having the synergy with Flamethrower totems, with potentially, you know, evolve during turn when you only play minions from your hand and you still have something on board is actually pretty huge. But Neirea is drawing patches. This time it's not RDU. It would have been 3 times in a row when it comes to that Shaman deck. For a second I thought that's patches, but it's a different pirate.
Yeah, it can be a big difference for RDU drawing the Corsair and Neirea draws the patches. And also in general, Neirea having a little bit of the slow end. Still the Corsair really well connecting here. RDU now knowing there isn't patches in the hand for Neirea.
Alright.
RDU probably looking for ways to get well trades around, but saving the Maelstrom portal here, wanting to get a little more value.
Well, it's definitely great with Devolve. After your opponent, it can act as a counter to your opponent's Evolve. So they evolve, you devolve. You're most likely your Maelstrom portal will be beneficial to that situation, but the question is, how much do you gain? Or maybe not that. How much do you lose?
Oh man, this minion
by
for
that.
Neirea is so of a low roll. Like now Maelstrom portal just guaranteeing a full clear here. What a swing.
That's unlucky. That's unlucky because Neirea's hand is clogged.
Yeah, like Neirea's hand is not improving here at all. RDU still having quite some options, so he's definitely... I really want to just... You can wait a little bit with Maelstrom, try to get a little more value, but every minion you play now might just get traded away too well. I think it has to... I want to see the Maelstrom here.
And Neirea can just play Evolve next turn to play around the removal, but at the same time it's so low value.
You also give so much... Like, Neirea is just able to trade the 1-1 away. Your minions are surviving. Right order.
Yes.
Totemling last. Right order.
Definitely.
Wow,
It's still looking bad with the hand, like double evolve, double devolve, 1 evolve. RDU is looking just to get ahead on board. Hero power into Metadite Totem is completely obnoxious. The other option would be Stonehill Defender, but when your opponent, you know that your opponent doesn't really play charge minions apart from patches, that Metadite Totem is looking there to stay.
What Neirea is really looking for maybe is the double gangster. Like if you go draw here in double gangster and still able to evolve that might be a really more swing turn.
Look at that, devolve on a board that has only 1 valuable minion, and it actually gets you still a card draw. That's unlucky.
Yeah, that's not really going the way for Neirea here. It just feels everything going a little bit wrong.
Well, that's the Shaman for you, right? It has a lot of RNG effects. You can't really blame that. Right, so... Oh my god. That is so huge. That is just so huge. You can hit another thing from below, and you know you're playing a deck that doesn't run volcanoes in the deck. You can go wide. You can be aggressive as possible, and that means you can go for the evolve next turn with another thing from below. Now... Oh, look at that!
Oh,
second time
wow.
Rocketeer, second time Cobble Trafficker. And those are nuts!
Yeah, and also the taunt here, like just the bodies of all the minions and your Rex as well. I'm not sure how useful that one is going to be, but really strong evolve here for Neirea.
Man, that is sick. And now I feel like RDU needs to contemplate devolving his opponent's board, because they are pretty big. So if he goes for devolve, Jade Lightning, next turn would be most likely his doppelgangster with evolve. I'm not sure actually. This is a really complicated turn. You have to assess how much time do you have to evolve your own creatures, how many creatures do you actually want to evolve. Maybe you just keep the evolve as a reset button for doppelgangsters when you lose your board.
That's not really that big of a devolve too.
Well,
Pretty alright.
It dealt 2 damage.
Yeah, that's. I mean, yeah, that's something, but no, I think RDU was hoping for a little bit more there.
You can still use the Jade Lightning to clean up some of those minions, and the Halazil needs to be dealt with as soon as possible, because even in this situation, just first of all, has high HP, second of all, it has an upside. So, the correct decision. Do you think the Draxus will have impact here?
No, I think it's not going to be played at all. I think it's one of the cards. There's no way that you can ever have a 9 mana time to play it. Hero power also of the Shaman already not being too bad, but always the pressure of Bloodlust. It's kind of 2 mana, pressure 3 damage at the late game.
Yeah, I think so too. And the weapon is so bad against Bloodsucker Corsair, right?
Yes. That's
2
true.
points of durability. Wow, that's 20% of that.
Well, Stegadon not as strong as the thing from below that RDU was able to pick up there. Taking a little slow approach, but yeah, it was not having the room. It's actually getting really to a more grindy way, the game. But RDU just having this evolve with the double gangster still in hand.
He can actually go for it right now. He kept seeing one devolve, and he still has very formidable board, so he can trade first.
Yeah, he won't. He would like to maybe kill his own to get the card draw going, but not really able to. And I would like to see the double gangster evolve now.
Well, he doesn't have room for patches though. No Doomsayer.
Wow, so much going on here.
And this, wait, what was it called? Crusher?
I mean, Neirea can be, I think devolve has to just happen. Like, there can also be a Doomsayer on the 3 drops, so that helps a lot.
No Doomsayer, but does a tentacle opens off. And what kind of stuff ending is that?
It's the Lotus. Yeah, it's the Lotus.
So he can regain stealth every single time he kills a minion. It's actually pretty big.
Yeah, it's one of the cards that actually really close to also being played. It's just not really fitting the current rogue archetypes. But the card itself is just more than alright.
Ooh, well that's beautiful. So you can attack with the tentacle first. Actually, that's not needed. Well, you should. If you plan on playing the Flanking Totem, you don't want to play it into the game with 2 HP. Because then it dies to a Milestone Portal with hero power. See how RDU tackles this. This is also another one of those complicated turns with different decisions to make. He still has patches in his deck, so there was a consideration to put it on the right side, like far away, to have patches synergy with free attack right now, which is not possible now. There we go, another stealth. Full board clear. Goes to the face, has superior board control. Healing Totem would be amazing there with this.
Oh wow, look at all the value generating here, the Healing Totem.
That's about it.
Yeah, well, and the Jiraxxus might look really cool, but it's not gonna be able to do much in this matchup at all.
1-1 Jade Golem. That is really not impressive.
It's kinda insane actually, to have like a turn 9 first golem starting. I have to say this Shaman is not running too much with the Jade Claws, Jade Lightning and Aya.
But Neirea had a really bad opening hand.
Yeah.
Double devolve, 1 evolve, 1 bloodlust, the patches.
Patches in general already, of course, hurting you a lot by drawing it itself. And yeah, this is just game. And RDU taking a 2-0 lead. And also, with already the Warrior being out and Shaman, they were not the best in this whole lineup against Neirea. So it's taking also out 2 really strong decks.
What is important for the viewers also to know, this is the elimination match. Someone who loses right now gets out. I mean, he's in the top 4 still, but it's an important match to just get to that trophy. And since we are playing best of 7s, and Zalay is already waiting in the grand final for his opponent, player that will win this match goes directly to play next match against Oliver.
PF is going to be
PF,
there.
sorry, against PF, and then winner of that goes to play another match against Zalay. So a really strong mental strength is required from the player coming from the lower bracket to sustain such an amount of games. In theory, it's 7, 14, 21 games, like the longest.
Yeah, and it's not just that. It's already 2 days going on, and
Yeah.
both also having already played like for 2 months in just all open qualifiers. So it's really now with the final day here going on, and now RDU going to the Miracle Rogue against the Taunt Warrior.
That is fantastic for RDU.
It is a good matchup, yeah. It is definitely a good matchup. Also going on the coin helps here or there a little bit, also making it a little bit harder for the Warrior.
That is really one of those matchups that RDU really wanted to see, especially like, you know, in the Conquest format, queuing doesn't really matter when it comes to the deck choices, but the matchups can be favored or unfavorable at some point. And as you have explained so far, the 2 games that we have seen before, RDU got a little bit, you know, let's not be afraid to use the word lucky here in this situation, but the matchups were not really that great for him, and he squeezed those wins. So if he can squeeze another good matchup with the Rogue here, and be a 3-0 already up, that is an amazing Tism event.
Yeah, I think the 2 matchups were like the Taunt Warrior definitely would like to go in the freeze mage. Like I think definitely for Taunt Warrior it's totally fine to get that matchup. What is really important for RDU here against the Taunt Warrior is the Slayers, like the Fine Flint Slayers. They are so great to remove any kind of taunt that comes in around later in the game. Yeah. Having the Auctioneer ability already. One card that can be really important for Neirea is Dirty Red. Dirty Red is a card that can sometimes put out a Slayer, put out a Gadget Sand, but normally, especially RDU's version of the Rogue, with also running Giants, has a lot of mid-range and late-game potential too.
Yeah, and it's important for RDU to just take into consideration Dirty Red and not play every single minion that he has in hand just because he can play them. And keep that option in mind that there might be a Dirty Red into a Brawl, and it might just, you know, kill your Gazeton instantly, and you'll be left without gas. Arcane Giant is already being drawn right now, so beautiful anti-red strat.
Yeah, and RDU, he also really chose here a more lineup to beat the aggro deck, or to beat the more control-based deck. His version is also running Shares, and it's a great card that plays really well around these removals too.
Malkarok, and that card actually got buffed a little bit, because there's no more Curse Blade in the assortment for Malkarok, so you can't really get blown out by a ridiculous amount of damage coming to your face. Like Pyroblast for 20 damage.
So what Neirea is really trying to do also, he needs, in this matchup, the quest has to normally get finished. It's really hard for the Taunt Warrior to completely get to all the resources to deal with everything the Miracle Rogue. It's just going to be too fast normally, and every time he's then able to remove and maybe sneak in a damage into the vase, like at the end, the weakness of the Rogue is that it only has 30 lives.
Yeah.
So if you're able to deal with 30 damage, no matter when, it's a big win condition too for Neirea, and brawls are insane then with the hero power.
Well, to be fair, there's hallucination, so you can get a shield block, you can get Ironhide, you can get Ali Armor Smith. That's some points of health that you can regain, and but in most of the situations, yeah, you just as you had talked about it, 30 HP and no taunts in the way. So the one hero power can finish up that rogue pretty quickly. But as you can see, the tempo is still on RDU's side.
Yeah, it's also really hard to gain tempo as Neirea. Like, he can make swing turns. He can go for a great AoE clear in the mid game with the fishes, but getting tempo and getting ahead and expecting the rogue to really run out of resources is gonna be a lot. It's gonna take a lot from Neirea in this matchup, and that's why it's definitely a favorite for the Miracle Rogue.
Yep. Cards like Sharazim are actually insane in this matchup. With the inclusion of new cards like Russell Petal Lasher, Swashbuckler, hallucination, it's pretty easy to get those 4 cards out. In this situation, actually, Shadowzin survives.
Yeah.
So it does no upside of the resurrection next turn with the Gazetan into, you know, double preps and stuff like that.
Rock time.
Malkarok, what did it get? Oh, Relying Blade. That's a card that we actually have seen a lot of times in this tournament. So, kind of unlucky. I wanted to see something that we usually don't see.
Well, it's definitely like a more of an average roll. There are a lot of 3-2 weapons around. And yeah, Neirea is also going so low on life already. The Taunt Warrior, it's really the deck for Neirea that is getting so punished towards all the days already. And it's just having a life issues, getting out-tempoed here a little.
Man, that Malkarok pairs so beautifully about against that Bloodhoof Brave. And that is just... Wait. No way of killing. Okay.
No, I think it's an auctioneer turn for RDU. And he has to also decide it a little bit fast to not... Because it might be a really long turn.
Well, he can be a little bit greedy and play the auctioneer next turn with Edwin.
Yeah, but then you pass. I mean, we have
Well, you pass, but you deal damage.
Yeah, I really want to go auctioneer. You have so many tools, and you already have a great trade in the Build of Brave. So I think that if his shots connect to the 1/4, it's the 4 damage here. It means also 5 damage face.
At the same time, you know that you kind of pass the possibility of resurrecting Shadowzin with ease, right? If you do the auctioneer this turn. But the amount of card advantage that you get right now might be just, you know, might just make up for it.
Yeah, and also you make your giant. You think,
oh my god!
Violent Slayer are 2 of every minion that Neirea is gonna play. It's not gonna survive.
It's gonna get slayed.
And already at 3 lives, Neirea really struggling here, going with the fishes to fully clear the board, but not even able to do anything with the 4 mana left. It's all just an armor up here.
Well, the ghoul doesn't have enough of value to get slain, so probably Vine Spine Slayer will still be kept in the hand, but there's a possibility of just getting even second Eviscerate to finish up the game. Nope.
Yeah, or even another SI could also connect the 4 damage to the face. But hey, we're not too sad about it either.
He backs up his own minion to get Shadowzin Resurrection. Here we go.
Good old backstab from the fan.
Worth it. Another 5-3 minion on board for practically no effort at all. The backstab suddenly changed to a 5-3 minion that still can be resurrected in upcoming turns.
So yeah, Neirea having a Drake execute play here, what I kind of like, but yeah, it's, you know, you're in a really bad spot here. Like, you know, if the Drake just, there's so many ways the Drake can die, and well, with the 5-1 Slayer, just gonna be it for Neirea here in this series. And now already 3-0. I mean, this has been going really fast now.
Yeah, I'm not really used to this tempo.
Not today, right? Not today.
Not today.
I have to say, I have seen going RDU up to, or playing quite a fast series from time to time. So not that for RDU, but for today, definitely. And what is the biggest thing? Maybe also, what's the last deck for RDU? Is it the Druid, like the J Druid? If that is left, and also facing the Mage still. Oh no, the Paladin. It's the Paladin.
The Paladin, and the Paladin, well, the Mage, actually RDU is not running even a single
Not
Druid.
even. Yeah, it's actually really surprising because it both fit the lineup a lot, but RDU is just also semi-targeting the aggressive decks, and not really facing the aggressive deck is really what has been a little bit going on for RDU in the tournament.
So the Paladin from RDU is the Nzof, with a very small punch when it comes to the Nzof itself. That means that only Tyrion and an Infested Tauren is a Death Rattle effect card. So what he wants to do usually is to Hydrologist a Redemption or Getaway Kodo and pair it up with a Tyrion and Infested Tauren to get more value. But so far, I didn't see that happen yet.
Yeah, and wow, did you see that keep Tyrion being kept in the starting end for RDU? No, it says a lot about the matchup, and Neirea actually, I have to say, with the Paladin left and Freeze Mage being around, and also the Stone Warrior, RDU is in such a good spot. Like, it's definitely one of the better decks against Neirea's lineup. And what is Neirea, what he's now really going to try to do, he's going to be the Tempo Warrior. He's not going to try to play this control game. He's going to go to really fastly finish the quest, remove the minions here and there, but he has to be the more aggressive player.
Yeah, correct. And that's hard to achieve, to be honest, against such a defensive deck as like the Paladin, right? Although RDU doesn't run so many heal cards, basically there's Ragnaros and Forbidding Healing, there's still a lot. In this case, Hydrologist on turn 2 gets him a Redemption. Still not an easy choice. There is some
Repentance is alright against Stone Warriors sometimes.
Exactly. The Repentance is not bad, but he gets the Redemption. I mean, when you play in Zoth, you need to go for that, right?
So the early game is a really like... The Control Paladin probably has one of the slowest early games ever. If you look at what are the fastest cards in the deck, it's Hydrolist and Stonehill Defender.
Man, they're pretty blazing.
So, but it actually gets here a little bit on board. But here, great pickup for Neirea. Finally starting off with the quest. Would like to get a Stonehill Defender. Would like to maybe get a Curator. It's a key card in this matchup, the Curator for Neirea.
Crucible Champion on turn 4 gets right into that Harrison Jones that was kept in the opening hand for Neirea. That was a conscious decision because RDU plays 2 weapons and the Tyrion, and Neirea really probably knows that RDU would keep Tyrion in his hand as well. So the Harrison Jones keep actually makes a lot of sense.
It's just a great card against Paladin, and I'm like, you want to have it here because he needs to draw. It's such a tempo swing, otherwise your minion gets straight away. But always a great answer to Tyrion, of course, too. And I really hope that RDU is going to take a little more aggressive play too. Not now yet, but he needs to challenge Neirea a little bit. He cannot give him unlimited time. If there's no Brawl getting used in any time early, it's going to be really strong in the later phase too.
Yeah, I agree about that. He needs to get some pressure, like cards like Spikerid Steed would be an amazing card right now because they're pretty tough to kill, and yet they pressure your opponent to a wider extent. So they need to sacrifice the execute, they need to sacrifice some minions attacks. So it's pretty important to get that.
Yeah, what is also a really strong card for RDU in this matchup is the Terim, of course, but also the Getaway or the Kodo. It can just hit on the 2/6 on the Ellie Armor Smith. Has some really great targets in this matchup.
Alright, well, those are maybe not the best, but Diehor Hatchling is a low curve, okay, low curve, mid-range curve taunt that fits the deck itself and gives you more access to just powerful minions in the late game. So I can see that being the best pick here. The Tauler, though, requires equality on its own.
Yeah,
but it's not aggressive.
It does, but it doesn't need to be directly. It can just be ignored for 3 turns with the 1 attack and giving the Paladin maybe a little bit too much time.
But there's the pickup that was really important. 10-6 Spikerid Steed. We have been talking about it, and there it appeared. A really crucial pickup because now Neirea is like, I need to do something about that minion. But if I do something about that minion, still a second Stegadon appears, and I still have a problem because it's starting to pressure me.
Okay, not going here for the execute at all, just really going for the plan, and it has to be the plan for Neirea. Like for Neirea, it's so important to have tempo. He needs his stone to go out. He needs to get into his quest. He's not gonna win in any defensive way. He's the aggressive player in this matchup.
So how do you like a really like an obvious setup with the no, actually that's super bad because you have the Stegadon available. Never mind. I was thinking about just playing this turn only the secret and sacrificing our minions and to set up a turn 8 Tyrion, an example.
Okay.
But this makes no sense when your opponent will be left with a Stegadon in front of the Tyrion anyway.
Neirea is, in his warrior, he's only running 1 Dirty Red, so it's not really, like, Dirty Red is not a great card against Paladin. Doesn't really, there are so many scary cards that can pull out with the Tyrion, with the Ragnaros. But can also, sometimes, there are also really nice ones, like the Doomsayer. Okay, pretty nice trade. They're still also setting up quite an alright Primeval Drake. But probably trades will happen here for our RDU side.
Actually like the Spikerid Steed here. Builds up a really hard board to penetrate and sets up a good anti-brawl strategy as well. unless you go for Ragnaros, you have a 50-50 to nail it on the hydrologist and heal it back. But then you can't really attack with it this turn. That's kind of awkward.
Yeah, I think Tyrion or Steed are the most appealing here. Also, if you play Tyrion, you already played your Torrent, so once Nazot gets drawn, it can be getting directly, but first, wanting to get some additional... I don't mind it because it defends your minion also so well, and you trade with the Ellie Armorsmith better.
Yeah, I like it as well. And I feel like you have that redemption and getaway Kodo. So turn 10 with both of those secrets and Tyrion, that's actually like, wow, powerful.
I don't think Neirea is too sad about how this game is developing. Like, the pressure is not really there, so he can just keep continuing what he's doing. He's playing a taunt, and he's getting there. He's getting there, and he's not facing too much pressure. RDU definitely picked up the steeds, but helped him here and there, but Neirea throwing some strong taunts as a response.
Oh, you're right. Even when RDU will just go for the secrets with the Tyrion, Neirea will just ignore it.
Nerea's should ignore everything. Like, he should just keep the removals. They are the ones he needs in the late game. He now just needs to play all his taunts, keep the removal. Once he's... Because Paladin hero power is a little counter-interactive with the Ragnaros hero power. You need to kill these 1/1s to hit the 8 in the face. Paladin is running a lot of... or is running quite some heal. So he needs to also burn towards that. And every Ragnaros shot almost has to go into the face.
Yeah. So what is the plan for RDU in this situation? What does he want to achieve? Because, as you said, he needs that pressure, but he lacks the equalities. He lacks Peacekeepers, Kodos. He has those, right? 1 Kodo, 2 Peacekeepers.
Yeah, I don't think it's really going away for RDU too much. It's also not... his version is not, in general, not so great against the Tomori, I think, from Neirea. But yeah, the Tyrion has to go down soon. It's gonna be important for him to slam the Tyrion.
Alright, well, 2 Stegans are getting some pressure there, but it's still kind of like a 2-drop. It's just harder to remove. It doesn't pile up the damage pretty fast, so...
Nerea's gonna ignore it. He's not gonna think like, oh, let's see if I have to make me removing plays. He's just gonna go with the Stonehill Defender, I would suppose. Maybe picking up already a really nice cheap taunt to finish the quest. Otherwise, following it up with the Direhorn. I'm just super happy with that.
Yeah, he finishes up the quest with Direhorn, basically. And
ooh, the Foodman actually means that he could now finish the quest, have 5 mana also. Not so appealing directly because of the it not being able and the 1/1 still being on the board.
To be fair, I didn't really like the Sulfuras this turn because you want to have it played after the Brawl.
I like it all before the Brawl too, with then possible 8 damage to the minion that survives or hits the face. The 2/6 is also a great pickup because of wind effects and setting up a Brawl. It actually sets up a great Brawl.
Okay, Tyrion is getting played, and now Neirea kinda has to react to this.
Yeah, now you see why Tyrion is so good in his matchup, and you see why RDU kept Tyrion in his starting hand. Like, keeping 8 drops in your starting hand, it's not that common, I would say.
Well, let's see if Tyrion lives this turn.
I would consider attacking there into a 2/5, because if a 2/5 survives, you can Sylvaris it and have an hit in the face, but Neirea winning the Brawl with 1 minion on board.
Well, that's additional free attack to the face and more health. That, when you consider the fact that not only you have board control, you dealt more damage, you're not getting dealt damage in the process. Like, the swing between Neirea having a 3/6 minion or RDU having a 6/6 minion is like incredibly crucial.
It's game changing for sure, or it's not helping RDU either. That was already a little bit struggling. I really like the way Neirea played it. He played it like, I don't want to say like smart warrior, but he played it as aggressive as he called B, and it's the way to go against Paladin.
Well, you have that strategy against a lot of decks, right? Against a Shaman, you might to be aggressive as well, especially with LE trades, just to play around Evolves, just to play around Flame Tongue Totem trades. The Fury Warx is crucial in those matchups. This is why we have seen PF struggle against Shamans in the past, because he doesn't run the Fury Warx, right?
Nazot, yeah, I totally agree. Tyrion just being really good here. It's just a Divine Shield and another taunt.
Well, RDU needs to get away Kodo on that Tyrion on Zoff. On Zoff would be actually amazing.
It might just be lethal here. With an Wind double Vicious, just clearing the wall board, being able to attack, it's just lethal.
Oh, well, unfortunate.
Unfortunate for RDU. Great for Neirea, at least picking up one series and not being the easiest deck here for Neirea to get out, I have to say. And yeah, if the sequence goes correct here, the mana is there, can get the Zolvarus in the face and is finishing here the game really fast, going way faster than this game than it normally turns out.
True. He got the Blastoise shots from the Sleep with the Fishes. Water gun.
So yeah, where we see a lot of people calling the Paladin here and there kind of good against the Taunt Warrior. It needs to be fast on board. It's not gonna... It just comes a little too slow out sometimes.
So what's the ideal scenario for you when you play a Control Paladin like that against the Taunt Warrior? What are the cards that you're looking for?
Stonehill Defender is already great to start with. Tarim is a great card. It's offensive and defensive in the same turns often. Tyrion being a really key card. Steed's doing right, so he had quite some tools actually that normally...
He was just lacking the Tarim.
He was I will say he was also lacking an Eldor, Stamping Coda. Like they are cards that make you being on the board and dealing well with the board. That were the biggest things RDU was missing.
Yeah, and now, this is a matchup that actually favors Jade Druid, right? Jade Druid has infinite amount of threats, while Paladin, well, he doesn't have enough answers to actually deal with those. So we have seen this matchup also between PF and Zalay, and Zalay was able to take it with actually just shuffling Jade Idols into his deck for a few times.
Yeah, so, and also Neirea, he went for a more approach where he was countering the control decks, and also in this Jade Druid, he is playing with an Acolyte over a Feral Rage, so even having more draw tools, but it's a big problem of the Jade Druid sometimes, not having enough draw mechanic, and cutting a Feral Rage for that will be helpful in this matchup.
That is true, but at the same time, RDU is on the play. He has the first minion being hit on board. That means that's actually a huge deal when you think about it, because the Steed on turn 5 can be played. That's one of the most important things that can happen in this matchup. But now I feel like RDU will have to commit to the Truce of a Champion delay. That will delay the Steed by one turn, but at the same time, it negates the additional draw from the Acolyte of Pain. So I think that might be one of the most crucial draws for, especially in the early game for Neirea, when Druid is one of those classes which can benefit from additional draws the most because of cards like Innervate. If he gets to draw an additional Innervate, that means he can snowball earlier on when Innervate has bigger impact on 10 from 1 to 4 than an example from 6 to 10 when you have wider mana anyway.
Yeah, you need to deal with this. I don't want the Acolyte to draw any more than one card. Maybe he's considering Doomsayer. I can see Doomsayer being here as a fine play too.
So to play around Jade Spirit, because you know that your opponent doesn't have a...
Just denying the turn, because turn 5 is the turn where they nourish. You don't give them the free nourish turn, the Acolyte only drawing one card. I really like the Doomsayer.
Okay, and it still draws one card basically. Unless your opponent will sacrifice his own removal on the Acolyte of Pain to draw additional card.
Yeah, but that's hard to stop in...
Yeah.
I'm not sure. It's definitely considerable. Like, I think Neirea has to go his own game plan. Like, Jade Druid in a control matchup should always follow his own game plan. The own game plan being just making your Jades really fast, really strong, and yeah, the earlier you can do that, the more problematic it becomes. So even cycling here, the ref getting not one but two cards also because of the Acolyte. No Wild Growth being found, definitely something Neirea was hoping to get there, I would say.
Yeah, his turn 5 kind of looks awkward. But at the same time, Jade Spirit into Behemoth, it's nothing to scoff on.
Yeah, also Blossom is great, and I think it's still really good because it makes the ramp there, and you can then have a little bit flexible turns.
That is a juicy Gluttonous Ooze.
So this Innervate pickup giving a lot of more room now for Neirea to make plays here.
Well, he could go for the ooze into Innervate Jade Spirit, and that's fantastic. Unless he really thinks that he needs to keep that ooze for a more crucial weapon, in this case, Archbringer.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I feel like Druid just cares about, you know, explosive starts. I mean, it's 10-6, it's not a start, but if you can snowball kind of faster, that's more important. But with this turn, he doesn't give a target to that Trucifer champion anyway, so it will be kept. Oh, okay.
So, no, I actually like this approach a lot from Neirea. He's curving into 7 mana, Innervate being such a great card for gadgets and also, and Red, I mean, the Jade Blossom, you want to play it when you can, same for Wild Growth, kinda.
Right.
Not sure if, oh wow, and also RDU not attacking here. I think he doesn't expect anymore the ooze that Neirea could have played.
Well, can you expect it when your opponent didn't play less than, when it was like the perfect target?
It's hard.
Yeah. If it didn't happen, I guess you stick to your guts and just don't attack with it. Like, there's no value almost in attacking for the 4 damage. Like, you're playing a class that is not explosive at all.
I wouldn't maybe mind the attack because it defends yourself so well that, like, he's kind of relying a little bit on the Steed next turn if you cannot connect the Steed.
That's a good point.
So every, like, now giving the Divine Shield away, like, even a Primordial Drake is gonna just be, I don't want to say game, but he's just losing almost that way just to, and you see what Neirea is doing now. He's swiping, and the reason he's swiping is he knows how that Paladin is really weak at turn 6 if they cannot connect the Steed. I think RDU could really consider the trade in a 1-1 there.
Okay, you might be correct. That would actually change a lot in this game. Maybe even push Neirea to use his hero power. So I'm sorry, Innervate hero power.
Well, then I'm already really happy if the Innervate gets being played that way. But RDU still has great follow-up. Like, also the Curator here, I have to say, is still really strong.
Getting the Kodo and the Drake.
Yeah, and also still having the Hydralist in the deck, so it's drawing 3 cards.
So when you think about it, you play a minion that is worth 5 mana, maybe a little bit more, 5.5, and you get to draw 3 cards, so which is worth 5 mana.
Yeah, not so bad, right?
Yeah, not so bad.
And RDU, I think, is really happy not seeing the ref here. Now being able to connect the Steed, it's so good against Druid. It's not just the Steed connecting for RDU being strong, but there is one big issue for the Druid. It cannot handle these these healthy minions or these strong minions. No strong removals there.
No mulch, no naturalize. I wonder if naturalize would actually been used in this Jade Druid version, like, you know, for a control metagame, an example.
Well, you might. I mean, you see how much cards RDU is having in the hand, so it will actually, the only thing it will do is fatigue or just burning cards. But yeah, you should, if you can connect the Steed against the Jade, you should really do it. It might just not be happening anymore afterwards.
Well, 6/9 minion that has to be dealt with in natural damage. So in this case, there's 4, 7, 9 damage on board, but it's still 6 health left by the Stegodon, so not really an easy answer.
Not playing the Secret here. Secret can also be really helpful for a Wild Pyromancer. Can always consider Equality Pyromancer Secret, and yeah, getting the Redemption on the Curator is not the best, just getting a 4/1 back on board. Neirea picking up a really strong tool here with Aya. I think I really want to get Aya on board. I really want to see Aya on board, and Neirea too.
Who wouldn't? Such a powerful card. And the Innervate is still being kept for the Gazetan, which is perfect when you draw the first Jade Idol.
Yeah, Neirea taking a really, just taking it a little slower, easier approach around.
He knows that he will win the end game. Like, there's no way he will run out of threats, and RDU will just be struggling if he doesn't get multiple Terrams and he doesn't push for enough damage. Like, this is what he wants to do. With the Stonehill Defenders, if they will get him additional Terrams, additional Tyrians, additional... Actually, those two. Those are the minions that he really needs to get, and get a swing with Nzoth, get a swing with Equality, and then follow it up with a Terram or something like that. That would be like the most important thing. Another Redemption. Not really looking the greatest right now. He still is lacking that Peacekeeper for the Kodo combo. And this is getting more and more crucial because the tempo swing, by having like the removal and building up the board, will be super crucial against the Druid, which will be struggling to deal with 8 HP that will be removing your own minion, a huge golem most likely.
Neirea is also able to... The Pyromancer get quite a good trade-off with the 2/2s and swiping, but might be a little bit of curve in a way of playing with the Gate Behemoth.
How do you like actually Pyromancer over Falnos?
I mean, I think it's really close. The synergy is just also really great with his own Acolyte in a way. That's why it's just a really great tech together, and it can be really nice against some more Death-related minions and pop him that way.
But at the same time, Falnos draws a card anyway.
Yeah, Pyromancer has some great synergy too with the skills, but just buffing and you are able to deal more AoE damage. What is a weakness for the Druid? Sometimes it has swipe, but it doesn't have like a flame strike, and sometimes it can at least become a 2 or a 3 AoE card.
Yeah, you're right. Okay, a lot of golems appear on the board, and that is one of those turning points for RDU. Will it mean that equality will be played this turn? That Doomslayer is actually juicy. There's a redemption in front of that Primordial Drake, so if you just play the Doomslayer, you'll have a chance to develop next turn without anything on board from your opponent.
Yeah, I'm thinking if he can wait with like Wild Pyro equality and then follow it up with a Doomsayer. I don't know if this is gonna be enough if he gets it here going, but you know what Jade can do. If there are Jade Idols being found and he shuffles in the deck, like it's never gonna end.
Yeah.
So RDU has to, it sounds strange, but he needs to do something, because not doing anything is not helping. Ragnar's being also still a strong card in general, just a strong body with the heal potential. Yeah, it's a really difficult turn here. The problem with Wild Pyro equality is you're not pressuring, so then you have to follow it up with the Doomsayer. Maybe hoping for the Doomsayer here to go off. I don't mind saving Doomsayer after Pyro equality.
But he can't play the hero power, because he needs the taunt in the way, or he just needs to resurrect on the Doomsayer. In case it gets killed like directly with Swipe Wrath, an example.
Yeah, but then the whole turn is getting spent, so it's... But yeah, even like if then one Jade Idol connects already, it can already be really, really problematic.
Alright, well, this requires 16 damage to be dealt to the board to deal.
Neirea still not knowing what the secret is. It's a big thing.
It might be a noble sacrifice. So he's looking for some direct damage, and he does draw it in the final card, the Wrath.
Yeah, I like to go for this way. You shot. It's way more often in this matchup that you would like to pick Redemption or the Getaway Kodo. Not necessary noble sacrifice. But Neirea also, this Norris has been doing some great draws together with the Gadget Sand. If he's gonna find a Jade Idol now with the Gadget Sand, Innervate, Wild Growth, he's gonna draw so much.
Yeah. It's pretty nasty, to be honest. He gets to draw 4 cards and then Innervate. This is a 5-card draw with the Gadget Sand, and he will still have 2 mana. In 5 cards, he will most likely find 1 Jade Idol to shuffle it back. Phew. Yikes.
Yeah, that's just the problem, and this is why this matchup is it's actually really favored for the Jade Druid. It's some other decks like a Jade Shaman or other Taunt Warrior, they at least have this win condition of being a more aggressive. Control Paladin, it just doesn't. So it just cannot be when Hydralisk turn 2 and Stonehill Defender are your most early aggressive cards. It's a little bit difficult.
Yeah. There's a Sunkeeper Tarim appearing from the Stonehill Defender. Seems like the story of the tournament. But
Definitely the pick here.
Oh, but it's still like...
It's not even close. Yeah. It's so good against the late game Jades. Maybe not here.
still not fantastic in general. Your opponent is already ahead on board, and you need to get that swing with a Peacekeeper most likely because it doesn't interfere with your own board. You need to get it wider for the Terran to have a bigger impact, or at least to trade immediately with your opponent. There goes Forbidding Healing. And
what is it really doing here? I mean, it's
just killing one minion.
I'm not so sure if I like this. He's taking a too slow approach here, I feel. Pyromans are also being used this way, not together with an equality. Yeah, it's doing a little bit, but you're not able to... I mean, I have to say nothing is good here. So, but was thinking if Ragnaros could maybe do a little better job there already. Like, this doesn't clear much.
Here we go, Jade Idol being shuffled to the deck. It's over! Game over, man!
Yeah,
Famous words from Aliens.
Just so much draw now for Neirea, still having an Innervate and a Wild Growth.
Oh, look at that.
Yeah, well, probably just gonna...
Oh. Interesting.
Just shuffling this one to even increasing the percentage of drawing more.
So 5 Jade Idols in the deck. And then
Now he's gonna make some. He just wants to try the 3 cards he drew now to get Jades from it.
That is just such a
So
horrible,
strong, yeah.
such a horrible situation for RDU to even like plan ahead. Like, what do? You're facing an unlimited threat from your opponent, and you have 2 Tyrants.
Yeah, well, the only thing you can do about this is not facing it, because you're not gonna win it this way, and with all these Jade Idols, so you have to be aggressive. It's for the Paladin, it's the way to go.
It's very similar to actually to the Mage, but it has just better options, because the Mage can pressure with early game minions and then finish it up with the burn spells. When Paladin has the same plan, but it lacks the measure. Like
It lacks everything.
Yeah, so it's like, you know what? I feel like I'm kind of on a disadvantage here. So late game is just so heavily favoring Druid is incredible. Almost one-sided, to be honest. Feels like it to be.
It is the worst matchup for the Paladin. I think Questroke it actually has a pretty reasonable chance sometimes against, where you sometimes are able to just remove almost everything, also still being bad. And yeah, this is just a dream for Jade Druid. It can just do whatever you want.
True. Oh, Vanner is actually fantastic against Jade Druids. When you think about the Questroke. It's so much tempo, especially when combined with the preparation. Well, that is the 3rd shuffle into the deck. Now most of the deck is actually being built by Jade Idols. Look at that. 1, 2, and 3. No.
Urban Skills being able to maybe make a value trade possible here if he wants to. Yeah, this is so disgusting together with the Fendrel just summoning and...
You don't even get, like, you know, full buff on the open scales. You don't care.
Like,
you know, your Paladin, is, what he's gonna do? Scratch you? It's like you don't need the armor. You just need tempo swings. Yikes. Finally, the Peacekeeper appears, but this is way too late.
yeah, and also while Pyro equality, even it taking a lot of stats away from the board, it's just for one turn doing the job, but afterwards consecration, sure.
So 3 damage is going to the Druid's face, but that's about it.
Actually, not at 30 lives now. It's actually
29. Oh no.
He's getting there.
And now Neirea can just go for Auctioneer, Jade Idol, and link it. And that's... he will get at least 2 Jade Golems.
Yeah, I just want to go Primeval Drake and a Jade Idol. Now actually going double Jade Idol. So clean. You don't need to, at the point, drawing more. Your whole deck is Jade Idols. You will pick them up.
So the record so far was 16-16 in this tournament. Depends on, let's say, RDU's commitment to the game.
Yeah, it depends when RDU is gonna find it from. Yeah, now it has been enough.
Yeah, so let's see when it will be. Maybe Neirea will actually commit to more.
If 2 more Jades are getting summoned, are you not having ways to deal with it? I think that just is going to be the point where RDU says, yeah, Neirea just figuring out what is the most mana efficiency, how am I going to do it, but he's just playing, he's kind of playing this game a little bit.
But is this the like final form of the Jade Golem artwork?
No. There is an at 2020,
right?
At 2020, there is.
I have never seen it in a competitive game.
Oh, I have seen it.
In competitive game?
Yeah, there has been. I'm not sure it was in HGT, but there has been at 2020.
It's crazy. I think he gains a master check.
Sorry?
In that form, he actually gains a master check.
Oh, really? Well, so after a trio start here for RDU, now Neirea taking the first 2 series against the Paladin, and well, we are really getting a series going. I mean, 3-2.
In Conquest, especially in the best of 7, it's so hard to nail a series 4-0. So I'm not surprised really that one deck struggles at some point, because you will not avoid bad matchups for that final deck, especially when you go 3-0. So it's actually normal to see now RDU losing some games, but at the same time, it's demoralizing, first of all. And second of all, well, if you lost 2 games in a row, it can still happen to the next 2 games, right?
Yeah, and now, I mean, Neirea, he got the Warrior out, that is not like a great deck in general, but the biggest issue might be for him the Freeze Mage. It is a deck that it can do alright, but it's going to be really difficult for the Freeze Mage if RDU is able to find his heal, and RDU is running quite some heal also. He is running a Forbidden Healing, and a Forbidden Healing is a lot of heal you can do, and also, of course, Ragnaros the Light Lord.
Alright, well, this opening for Neirea is actually not that great. I would consider just pinging without the advancement. I mean, at the same time, the Valet will get like 6 damage to the face.
I think you want to play one here. The second one might not gonna be there, but you're saying Neirea's hand not being so great. Well, I don't think RDU's hand is that much superior when I see double A drop and the Curator being drawn.
Well, he did get 2 drops right now.
Okay, going here already with the Pyromancer, just not wanting to gain any damage there.
Oh, I'm not surprised. This is the minion that trades with the Medivh's Valet, and you're not really in need of having that minion in this particular matchup. Although, it can draw a card here if you use the coin. But at the same time, I think you need the coin to coin out a bigger threat as soon as possible. This Paladins actually lost a lot of power in this matchup because they can't use Ragnaros anymore. I mean, the normal one. Right?
The Fire Lord.
The Fire Lord was one of those cards which actually pushed the matchup to the limit, because Mage would have to sacrifice Fireball, Frostbolt, Pyroblast to deal with that minion. Otherwise, freezes didn't work.
I think it really comes down to the first game that we had in the series, where RDU piloted the Warrior, Taunt Warrior, against the Freeze Mage, and you saw how he like really just had exactly enough to not die at the end, and Neirea just not having the burn anymore. And that's exactly the game plan RDU has to follow. Not taking too much early, having enough heal just to get towards all the burst Neirea is able to do.
So in this case, the Ragnaros is exactly reversed. It will stick to the board, but it will be played after Alexstrasza, so he can get up, you know, from the 15 life and just be still healthy after a burn turn as well.
Yeah, Neirea is having really not much draw going on. With the Freeze Mage he's playing, running the Antonidas, but also running double Acolyte, running a Luthor. Like, he's running a really just more standard heavy draw. Arcanalist, of course, but withdrawing the Secrets and the Medivh's Valet. Not the dream early game for Neirea at all. Wow, interesting attack here.
Truce of a Champion into the Thanos to
Make
sure that the hydrologist actually is alive.
I think that's a lot of respect.
Oh, it's a legendary, man.
Wow, Neirea drawing so poor with the Freeze Mage, just getting all this burn together here in the early game.
But he has Alexstrasza and is getting closer to that minion. So after you actually get Alexstrasza, Fireball, Frostbolt is the ideal scenario if your opponent doesn't have heal. And RDU actually runs only 2 healing cards in his deck.
Yeah, like not counting through silver, but it's kind of a low amount of heal. The Ragnaros, if the Ragnaros Light Lord comes down, Neirea has to kill it. So
Yeah.
besides the heal you're getting, you also get away normally 8 damage. Freeze Mage, it's not running a Polymorph, it's not running a Meteor. So how do you deal with Ragnaros Light Lord? Normally it has to be a Fireball or something from the glyph that is able to deal with it.
All right, well, very passive turn from Neirea, just pinging the Hydrologist. And there's the Light Lord! What a draw.
Yeah, that's an insane pickup for RDU.
And I feel like you might actually consider, never mind, keeping the coin, just to have access to a free drop after you actually play your 8 drop, in case you would need to Peacekeeper Alexstrasza, an example.
Yeah, well, Ragnaros Light Lord will always come down normally after Alexstrasza, otherwise it just doesn't get any heal mechanic going.
But then if you didn't have a response to Alexstrasza, because it's on curve, right? Then the Alexstrasza can attack and deal with the Rag.
That's the problem. Stampeding Codon being a great card against Freeze Mage, killing Doomsayers. Also,
Acolytes.
every minion, Acolytes, Arcane List, the Velids, like every mage minion besides the Antonidas and Alexstrasza are just great targets.
One thing that we have to remember is exactly what you mentioned. The Antonidas is also key in this matchup. In the first game, we have seen RDU nail the Antonidas with the Dirty Rat.
With the Brawl, that was really nailing it.
Yeah, well, okay, he actually was kind of lucky in that. But it did happen. Ooh.
It's not too bad, maybe, to
actually get that, like, you know, final rescue button in the case of Eye for an Eye has to be played. You are kind of aggressive on board. So there is some idea to actually take the Eye for an Eye, and RDU takes it. I love it. I love it because it plays around like a finishing Pyroblast, an example, because Pyroblast takes the entire turn. You can't ping. If your opponent makes a setup, an obvious setup for Pyroblast, the Eye for an Eye acts like an ice block for the Paladin.
The Eye for an Eye, I think normally as a control Paladin you really want to go for this out-heal plan, but it can just be a lockdown for one turn or at the end, so I don't mind it just getting here in the hand too.
Well, Neirea is at 18 points of life. That's really not that much.
I think Neirea's kind of alright drawing this Arcane is just now having, then he's at least not drawing it, or one less chance to draw a barrier.
Forbidden Healing, what a blessing for RDU.
Yeah, for RDU things are getting together here. I mean, the two most key cards, his 2 heal cards are just drawn.
Neirea, I think he has to commit to the Alexstrasza right now.
He will. I think, well, maybe you can think of trying to get one more turn because you're facing already 10, 13. But even if he's gonna pop you, he will most likely be at 15 lives. Or to 17. He can go to 17 with a possible true silver. But he has to do it. He needs to Alex. With a Nova, I will maybe consider trying to play more things. He's taking the, like, what do you want to do not taking this damage? You cannot fireball the minion. I am pretty sure this is going to be an Alexstrasza for Neirea.
What does he reach for? There it is.
Yeah.
The dragon comes down.
It is the game plan he has to follow. If Alexstrasza doesn't come down here, he's just decreasing his chances in the game.
Alright, so, few options for RDU. He can deal with the Alexstrasza just by trading with minions, but of course he wouldn't like to sacrifice the damage. He can also use equality. Never mind, he goes for the minions.
Yeah, Ragnaros Light Lord doing a great job here.
And that is like, oh my god, it's so... feels so bad as a Freeze Mage player to just see that Ragnaros being played. It's like, I need to deal with it, but if I deal with it, it's still 8, the burn. So that's like 16 HP. And the problem is, if that's a redemption, then I still need to use the pink to kill that guy again.
And Getaway Kodo is even worse.
And yeah, Getaway Kodo is just like
and that's what
GG.
RDU is also having here, the Getaway Kodo. And yeah, it's just like the Ragnaros is not healing 8, it's just healing here actually 17 because Neirea is losing a Fireball and a Frostbolt for it.
And then it will heal again for 8. Well, not this turn because that will be this Doomsayer will be met with his final destination. Kodo will appear.
And I mean, now already, and we even know there are more tools left for RDU with also the Forbidden Healing and just another Ragnarok's Light Lord Neirea has to deal with. I even think great glyphs that give him a Pyroblast or even deals to deal with the Ragnarok's Light Lord in a good way. Now it's really going the Paladin favor with the amount of healing.
Tough to deal with. Tough to deal with when RDU draws the only 2 healing cards in his entire deck as a freeze mage. Like if those cards would have been drawn, it would have been GG already.
Yeah, well, I think the Light Lord could already do a really good job on itself. I have to say, like the Light Lord is really doing it here. Oh wow, RDU not waiting with the heal. Cold definitely had a great Kodo, but was a little bit. Maybe for the curve not so great, and just wanting to directly get the heal. Every turn he just wants the Light Lord on the board, spent the 8 mana for it. Yeah, and Neirea, he might just want to wait a turn. I mean, now Paladin is anyway at 30 lives, why will I even try to burn, but...
Pyroblast.
Oh man.
On the second Ragnarok's Light Lord. So how much damage is that? 10, 16, 19, 20 damage just in the Fire Lords, and then 16 being... actually 15 being healed.
It's doing a lot. It is doing.
It's literally over 1 full character.
Yeah, and that is a little bit the problem nowadays with Freeze Mage against Paladin. Freeze Mage used to be just cruising the, like it was just really owning on the control Paladins. The expansion before, where there was Emperor, because you could wait, and there was Icelands. You could wait to get 30 damage together. You never do anything. Have the Emperor get 30 damage, but now the Freeze Mage always needs at least 2 turns, and now the Paladin is just not allowing that.
Yeah, and Paladin has no way of actually getting armor, so the 30 damage was always enough.
So we have really seen this matchup just completely developing in another direction lately, and gotta be important for RDU, of course, to get the Light Lord there early going. Sometimes the Forbidden Healing can be a little bit tough when you are at 15 lives. Yeah, do I'm gonna Forbidden Healing now? Sometimes you have to do it a little too early, so Ragnarok's being really important.
Okay, well, Ice Barrier 100% was being played. I feel like RDU will just go phase anyway. Doesn't really care, right? Sets up the damage. He's at 30. Can play even the Stunhorn Defender and maybe the Spikered Steed to guarantee more damage this turn. Like he can finish up the game whenever he wants. There's no reason to postpone it as well.
I think the only thing RDU just tries to take care of is not losing damage. He just doesn't want to trade his face in a minion, and he tries to not let any minion of Neirea. It's just the concept of it. Like maybe this game is just going to, oh my god, the only heal taunt that is around. It's really going a little bit there.
And then you buff the Wicked Flame with the Steed. Suddenly deals 4 damage, heals 4 damage. Get my rip.
Yeah. RDU just following the game concept, what is so important in this matchup normally. Don't let the minions from the mage dealing any damage in your face. Just playing really strong taunts. Safety, sitting also at 30 lives behind the taunts. It's really, really strong.
Well, Rosnova. What can we say? Neirea is running out of options.
Yeah, and also these freeze cards, they're just not doing it anymore. I think Neirea realizes it too, like how this game is going on. We have been seeing it in game 1. It was actually little there. He had a pretty alright chance, just at the end, just missing a little bit damage to get it through, and now actually really far away. Well, Terran, yeah.
I can just play Wicked Flame, just for, you know.
Yeah, can also go Kodo, and maybe you just want to keep the Kodo for when it's really important. Can connect it with Eldor, for example, on an Antonidas. Antonidas is, I think, the only card that RDU is really worried about.
Yeah, but at the same time, he has Eye for an Eye, and he knows there's no more health generation from Neirea, so whatever damage he deals, it's permanent, and the Eye for an Eye will finish up the game. So the Antonidas giving additional burn doesn't really matter, since it will end the game for, in RDU's favor, whatever will happen.
True.
He just needs to go down to 1 HP.
No, but I guess he's just saving, like, I like to save the Elder Kodo just in case for Antonidas with a Nova. Maybe he's not able to perk him at 1, maybe he's gonna survive at 2 lives. Sometimes
That's a good point, yeah.
it's really hard to like do the complete damage, and with that way, saving like the Elder Kodo maybe for an Antonidas, just developing the board. Looking all so strong.
Flame Strike.
Yeah,
doesn't
well,
really do much.
it's doing quite some work, but it's not doing enough anymore.
Yeah. Pretty funny when you think about it.
Trade seems pretty alright. RDU running a little out of tools to play on board, but also just doesn't need it. He's just having some taunts, being still at 30 life, just feeling great.
So this is like a really big keeper of Ultraman.
Yeah, pretty well, and also just super great offensive and defensive. In these kind of matchups against Freeze Match, you can use it offensive. Glyph, the card that Neirea so badly needs, and needs so badly a lot from. I mean, Fireball is
usually
something.
Fireball is amazing, but
It's great, but Neirea just needs too much after the Pyroblast that had to get used in the second Ragnarok's Light Lord.
he still knows that RDU has Forbidden Healing in his deck.
Yeah, and I mean, but it cannot just not be there in the hand yet. Like that's what Neirea is hoping for, trying to get another Pyroblast, and then in the meantime, Pyroblast with 2 Fireballs, pick up a little more damage, get some pings in.
Get that Antonidas on the board.
Yeah.
Swing
so
it with the Frost Nova into a Glyph, into another spell for 0, into Infinite Fireballs. Maybe can happen. Very unlikely, but that's the only out for Neirea. But the gap is closing. I mean, the gap for RDU not having responses to that.
Yeah, like we also see that the Forbidden Healing is just gonna still do a great job, and that's something RDU knows.
There's the Antonidas.
And you see how important it is that this
Peacekeeper,
Elder,
yeah,
the
you're
Elder,
right, you're right.
The Elder with Kodo is just the tool he had to keep. Only scary card for him that was left, and dealing with it by just generating 1 Fireball.
You're definitely correct. That Peacekeeper with Kodo was is like a nail to the coffin for Neirea here. He's left with 21 damage.
Yeah, might just be now trying, because this is the turn he cannot defend himself anymore from the ice block, so it's gonna burn as efficient as he can. I think 2 Fireballs are getting into the face here, probably with connecting with the ping or with one of the spells in the hand. Yeah, but with Pyroblast being used, he needs to find the second Glyph. And with the second Glyph, from Neirea's perspective, he has a really good shot.
Yeah.
The Forbidden Healing is going to lock it down, but it's still a great spot here for Neirea. 60. He might just maybe he wants to play a little bit around Forbidden Healing here, finding the Glyph, getting another Fireball. In that way, he's setting up Lethal, but needing 2 turns for it.
Interesting.
And also this Eye for an Eye. Now Neirea sees it, and he knows that this Eye
Nods
for an
his
Eye,
head.
it's like Glyph, it can be a great card, but it doesn't heal.
It's a Fireball, but it's not a Pyroblast.
Actually getting... Wow, it was pretty close here otherwise to almost get there with the double Fireball pickup, and that was what Neirea was going for.
Well, he can check if it's Eye for an Eye already, actually.
Yeah, well, he's not even checking. Well, he's checking, but just with the Fireball, just hoping it's not there. Seeing the bad news, Eye for an Eye, and that means that RDU takes the game and takes that out with the Paladin.
Woo. Coming from the lower bracket, Neirea finishes at 4th place at StarLadder Finals Season 3. Congrats to him. He's on a roll lately, so that's actually fantastic to see him finishing here really high, especially that he is coming to compete in Shanghai.
Yeah,
later.
they're gonna maybe face each other again in Shanghai. I mean, both of the players, great performance lately. They have been really on point lately, qualifying to Shanghai, and now also, yeah, it's great to see people doing so well in multiple tournaments. But yeah, congrats to Radu. Like in the lineup-wise, it looked a little tough here and there, but the early win with the Warrior was also important.
I'm starting to think that he likes to fight from behind. Like he lost his first match in the group stage, had to win 2 matches then just to advance to the top 4. Now in the top 4, he lost his first match. He won his second match, but now he will have to win 2 more to take the champion title. So there's really a long and rocky road ahead of him.
And now he's off against PK, and we have seen that matchup earlier today. It didn't went his way. It was really close. Went to a best of 7 all the games. Was the first game of the day. Really long one.
Yeah.
Went to 4-3, and yeah, looking maybe to get revenge, because there were some tools where in the heavy control matchups where I have to say he might have called it, maybe done it a little bit differently, that could give him a better shot, but here definitely great and deserved win.
Right, I have nothing to add. I'm fantastic. But as we know, RDU will face now PF. PF, not PK. PF in the next match in few seconds, but we will have, I think, a break right now. And for RDU as well. So don't go anywhere, guys. This is StarLadder's I-League Season 3 final day.